What's up, everybody? Birds in the Trap MMA back at it again. Alright, and I know I'm a little late to the party. It's Monday. This happened on Saturday, but I haven't had the chance to record till now, so I'm just getting it out better late than never. We're talking about UFC 285, guys. Alright, now, as we see here, and if you saw my last video, oh, my picks didn't age too well, guys. I actually did really bad on this card. So I wanted to start keeping track, but I think we'll start keeping track next card. Just kidding. I mean, how was I supposed to expect that? Are you kidding me? So yeah, I will never pick against Jones again. I need to eat my words here, because if you watched my last video, you saw I had Cyril gone by decision. I thought he'd be able to defend the takedown and, you know, outclass Jones on the feet. Unfortunately, that's not what we got. And I say unfortunately because, man, I want to see John get knocked out, you know? I do. I don't think he's a great guy, but, you know, I do have to admit that for the UFC and for the sport, him winning is a good thing. So, yeah, I mean, let's talk about each fight on the card. Starting off first with Dricus du Plessis versus Derek Brunson. Okay. As you can see here, I say Dricus du Plessis is the best worst fighter, or the worst best fighter, either one. But yeah, you know, he is so interesting because this fight, his fight with Darren Till, those are the two that I can really think of where I'm like, this guy looks moments away from losing, you know. But I mean, he figures it out, you know. And I mean, I'm not knocking the guy, because I actually like Dricus, okay? I do. The more he fights and the more I watch him, the more I'm like, you know what? I like this guy. And he's on a tear in the UFC right now. But his fight IQ just makes no sense sometimes. You know, he makes a ton of questionable choices, and then, you know, it looks like he's losing until he's not, you know. And actually, in my last video, my prediction video, if you paid close attention, you see that I edited my pick. And originally, I was taking Brunson by wrestling, you know. And it looked like that's what was going to be the case in the first round. But, you know, I changed my pick to Dricus, and Dricus did what he usually does, you know, loses a round and then wins. Because I believe that's what happened against Till. So yeah, you know, congrats to Dricus. And you know, as I put here, if Costa and Strickland doesn't come alive, I think we should give one of them to Dricus. You know, preferably Strickland, because I think that's a more favorable matchup compared to Costa. Just my personal opinion. But along with that, if Derek Brunson is calling it a career, because it kind of sounds like it, then, you know, congrats to him. He had a good career, you know, unfortunately never fought for a title, but, you know, he should be proud of himself for a good UFC career. Alright, what's next here? Is it the Garbrandt fight? Yes, it is. Alright, Cody Garbrandt takes a step in the right direction, okay? Although he couldn't get a finish or anything, he looked very gun-shy, played it very safe, you know, he got a win. You know, he's in the win column right now. Cody Garbrandt is coming off a win. And, you know, we're not used to seeing that. I'm sorry, I like Cody. I'm actually so happy he won. But he looked like a former champion tonight. I say tonight, this was a few nights ago, but I mean, he looks like a former champion, you know. I think that's what Joe was saying on the broadcast, is like, he looks like who he should be, you know. And maybe that's just, you know, because of who it was against, you know, Trevin Jones. I don't know him, and I hope he doesn't take this personal, because I know he's watching. But, like, he didn't really look like a top-level fighter, you know. It looked like in a lot of moments he just kind of didn't know what to do, you know. I'm not saying that to knock him at all, you know. There's nothing wrong with that. But, yeah, you know, it was a little boring at times, you know, and Cody couldn't get a finish, so it was a decision win. But, I mean, a win nonetheless. And, you know, I just watched the MMA Guru video. This is the only thing I'm copying, okay? I want to see the Garbrandt versus Cub Swanson fight. You know, he said that in his video, and yeah, I think that'd be a great fight. And both of those guys have name values. You know, they're both not ranked, but it could headline a fight night. But I mean, long story short, you know, this was a step in the right direction for Cody Garbrandt. So with that being said, next up we got Garbrandt versus Turner. All right, now I had Turner by knockout. So, yes, I got this one wrong. Like I said, I did horrible on this card. But I honestly don't have too much to say about this because, like, Jalen Turner did exactly what I thought he would do. And that is hit Garbrandt hard. You know what I mean? Like, he definitely had the bigger shots in the fight. And, I mean, he had the knockdown. So, he did what I thought, you know. But Garbrandt didn't quit, which I was surprised because he loves to get dropped in his fights. Or he likes to get hit. Let me not say dropped, although Benny dropped him. But, you know, he likes to get hit, so I thought that would work in Jalen Turner's favor. But the wrestling was there for Garbrandt. All right, and that's kind of all I think. I think Garbrandt deserved the win after watching it. I didn't even think it'd be split, personally. But, yeah, so that's that. Next up, Shevchenko is a big problem, okay? Yeah, this was a great fight from both guys. Shocking finish from Shevchenko, championship level finish, you know, standing rear naked choke. What the hell? Where do you see that, you know? So I think the last time that I saw that, I mean, look, unless it was some random fight night that I missed because I don't watch Apex fight nights, or like I'm completely blanking, like I think the last time we saw that was Oliveira versus Poirier, right? Like a standing choke like that. So you know, and Shevchenko has a great chin as well. You know, I'm sure a lot of the shots he took from Jeff Neal would have put a lot of other welterweights down. So, you know, usually like complimenting the chin isn't the best. I feel like personally, because it means you get hit a lot. But in Shevchenko's case, where he has the elite skills to back it up, yeah, it's a great plus. And, you know, everyone's kind of saying it, but this is really like Shevchenko's version of Burns and Khamzat. Yeah, and I think that Shevchenko will... I was going to put he'll be champ, but I don't know if he'll be champ, you know, because I think Khamzat beats him, and I don't know where Khamzat's going in the next few years. But, you know, he is for sure a title contender. And Jeff Neal brought it, man. Like, his stock shouldn't go down at all, you know. I mean, he did get finished, which isn't great, but like I seriously am impressed because Shevchenko did not just maul him and walk through him, like some people thought. I kind of figured it'd be back and forth, up until a finish, but I thought the finish would take place in the second round, whereas here I believe it was the third. And now, is Covington the fight for Rakhmonov? Now listen, Colby isn't taking this fight. Colby Duckington is not going to take this fight. But let's say hypothetically, like, he was down, you know. Sorry, I just dropped something. But let's say that was, like, offered to him and he said yes. Covington is what? Number 2 in the division. Rakhmonov is what? 3? So with a win over Covington, that, you know, he's for sure the next guy for the title. But does he beat Covington? I think so. I think so, man. I think he's, you know, if anything, if this fight showed us anything, it's that he can handle adversity and come back, and he's hungry, man. I think he'd rip through Covington, you know. Not as quick as Khamzat would, but I do think he'd rip through Covington because Colby's fought for the title twice and lost. You know, he's getting older and older, but he still is so high up in the division for no reason. So I don't blame Shevchenko for wanting that fight, but I don't think it's what's going to happen, you know, which sucks because Colby getting finished would be great. All right, what's next? Alexa Grosso. She pulled off the upset. Now, I said that Valentina was going to lose sooner than later, but I thought that Erin Blanchfield, who should be next, after Grosso and Shevchenko rematch, I thought that it would be Blanchfield to do it, but I'm not surprised. And I'm not surprised because of the game plan that Alexa had going into this, that she knew to watch for the spinning attacks and then just jump on the back, and that opportunity presented itself. She took it, and I mean, when you look at the choke, it was almost more of a neck crank, not a neck crank, but like she was really pushing on the chin, you know what I mean? And yeah, so that just shows the strength of the hold she had. And Valentina didn't want to tap, she was really trying to hold in there, but I think she knew she was going to sleep. So Alexa Grosso pulls the upset. Mexico has got 3 champions now. 1 interim, of course, but 2 undisputed champs. That's 1 each month of the year so far, because Brandon Moreno won in January, Rodriguez February, and now Grosso in March. So that's pretty cool. And we can definitely expect a Mexico pay-per-view. Or, I mean, I'd like to see it at least, and I feel like the UFC should go that direction. So, yeah, and there, it'll probably be an immediate rematch, but I want Erin Blanchfield to get the winner. I know some people are saying 1 more for her, but if Alexa Grosso was number 6 and could get a title shot, then I don't see why we don't throw Blanchfield in there. She's clearly one of the best and clearly hungry, clearly something interesting for the division. But, the division needed something like this. I'm not saying Valentina needed to lose, but it needed to be shook up, and it almost happened in her last fight with Talia Santos, but it didn't. So, it was a matter of time, and very happy for Alexa Grosso because she was very overlooked. You guys know this. And everyone kind of thought it would just be another title defense on Valentina's record, but she had other plans. All right, now for the big boy fight. Yeah, I know. I feel like an idiot, all right? And listen, can you really blame me? All right? I know some people aren't going to want to hear this. Some people are going to be like, why are you even making videos then? Because I want to, okay? I'm a new fan, all right? My first pay-per-view that I consciously watched was UFC 268, which was the Covington and Usman rematch in Madison Square Garden. All right, so I haven't seen Jones fight because it's been 3 years. That was only a year and a half ago. But yeah, I feel stupid. As hell. I'm never gonna pick against John again. I thought the fact that he was looking fat he'd be slow, and I mean he did look slow. I just relied on Cyril Gahn lasting longer, because we didn't really get to see how John looks. We saw him in the cage, we saw him throw some punches, but the Stipe fight will be a much bigger test and a much more telling matchup for John, because we didn't see him stand much. But I mean, hindsight is 20/20. Looking back at this, it's so easy to be like, oh, John's gonna take him down and wrestle him. Gahn doesn't have the wrestling game of Jones, but I thought he'd be able to defend the takedown. Okay, that's what I thought. Because you're as good as your last fight, and Cyril's last fight was way better than John's last fight. So yeah, I'm never gonna pick against John again. I think he's gonna mop the floor with most heavyweights. I feel like the only one who can really present problems is Curtis Blades, because he has good wrestling as well. But he has to beat Sergey Pavlovich, And if Sergey Pavlovich wins that, do I see Jones beating Sergey Pavlovich? Yeah, I do. I see Jones beating Stipe. The only question mark would have been Ngannou, but we don't have to worry about him. So John is the best in the world, no doubt about it. And I have to eat my words here, I didn't want to see him win, but you know what? It happened, and like I said, it's good for the UFC, it's good for the sport, so it's okay, John Jones, good job. I'm gonna pick you next fight, and this was like a y'all must have forgot moment for John, to finish the fight in 2 minutes and to have so many new fans that haven't seen him fight before, including me. For him to come back and have that performance, you know, he's leaving a great impression on everyone. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore, but yeah, that's what I think. And yeah, thank you for watching. Also, I didn't make this its own slide, but I don't really like Ian Gary, man. Like, when he first was showing up, I was like, alright, this is cool, you know. But then, you know, this fight, he hit the Billy strut after. And, you know, I'm not saying he's a Conor copy, but he needs to come up with his own stuff, you know. He said, we're not here to take part, we're here to take over. You know, he did the Billy strut, you know. And, I mean, I also saw that on his Instagram, he posted, like, a picture of his opponent all beat up, and then he said something kind of disrespectful in the caption. Now, listen, when you win a fight, you have the right to do that, you know. You won the fight. But, at the same time, we have the right to judge it, you know. I don't really like that behavior, you know. It just seems kind of arrogant. And I mean, especially since he was having trouble in the fight, you know. Yeah, just those things are kind of leaning me towards not really liking him. But you know, he obviously can change. But the fact that he had trouble in that fight, I'm worried for his next one. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll try and get a few more out this week. Yeah, have a good day, and let me know what you thought of UFC 285 in the comments below. If you want to make fun of my picks, go ahead, because I deserve it.